It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday morning. Wake up Wednesday. Where have the last 2 days gone? I'm going to tell you where they've gone in my life. So I have the cutest little 7-year-old granddaughter. Her name is Brooklyn. And she and I are buddies. She came to me, as a child, it's like she wants every day to be her birthday. And she's been saying for a year, Grandma, I can't wait for my birthday. My birthday is coming. And I'm like, Brooklyn, it's like a year away. And then, Grandma, my birthday is coming. And same thing, sweetheart, it's like 6 months away. Grandma, my birthday is coming. And it was like a month away. Yesterday was her birthday. She is our Valentine baby. When she was born, Valentine's Day changed for us forever. And it became her birthday. And she wanted to have a birthday party. And she wanted to have it at my house, in my garage. Now, here's the reason for it, is I used to teach singing and dancing to children when my kids were little. And I taught it in my garage. And so my garage became more like a room once a week, a dance room. I pull the cars out and I made it so it wasn't super cold in there. And I roll out some carpet and painted it, and it would turn into a dance studio. Then I got to where whenever there was a party, our garage turned into the party room. And we would decorate it, and it worked perfect because then when you get done, all I had to do is open up the garage and everything goes in the garbage. So she said, Grandma, could we have a birthday party and in your garage with all my friends from school? I was like, sure, I would love to. And then my creative thoughts started coming, right? And I thought, oh my gosh, this has got to be amazing. It doesn't have to be, but I wanted it to be memorable. And that side of me, I'm very creative when it comes to give me something that I can kind of create and make. And it turned into not just a little party, but it turned into a princess party. I wanted it to look like a princess party. I didn't want it to look like a garage that just had a few decorations. And so I'm telling you, it was amazing. It had a drop ceiling, a pink drop ceiling. The walls we had covered up with this white material. It had a whole bunch of like hearts and and lights, and it was so amazing. And I might be doing a cute little video. So if you want to see it, you want to go to like my Instagram, which is Shelly Jo Hypno Aminos. I'll be doing a video, put it in there. And it was so much fun. Not just the planning, but yesterday was so much fun. Monday, we started to decorate, my other daughter and I, Angeli. And it went from one idea to another. And she wanted to be in charge of the ceiling and the lights, which was really, really good because it took us till 6 o'clock yesterday morning to get it done. So Monday, I didn't go to sleep. And finally at 6 a.m, I said, I've got to go to sleep because I was watching my grandbaby at 7:30, 7:45. I need at least an hour and a half of sleep yesterday. And I thought that I would get a chance to have a some sort of nap yesterday, and it didn't work that way. Uh, but I can tell you one thing: when she came yesterday morning to drop off her sister, and she looked in to the garage, it was magical. It was so much fun. And she was so excited. And it was worth every minute of not having any sleep and everything that I had done Monday day to Monday night. And then yesterday, I got to go to her school and help her. I got to take her some lunch, and we got to eat up on the stage for all the birthdays. And then we had the most delightful party last night. She had lots of kids from school. She had lots of family members that came. It was so fun. We had Tiana, the princess, come and be a princess for a princess. And then afterwards, we extended this party because today is my husband's birthday. And it's my cute Brecklin's little sister, Ashton's, my little 1-year-old, the one I watch. It's her birthday. So we get 2 days of celebration. The big celebration was yesterday, but it was just so fun. And it all got over, and I was sitting there and I thought, I gotta get something done. I hadn't done anything for work for 2 days. And I sit down at my computer. Actually, I took a bath because I needed something to just let myself, right? And I sat down at my computer, and at 10 o'clock, I thought, I cannot even keep my eyes open 1 more minute. And I went to bed. I had 8 hours of sleep. 8 hours. And it was marvelous. And I wake up this morning, and I am ready for a new day. You know, when I have these little creative things like this, like that, it just drives me. It lights me up. So fun. Now, if I did this every single day, my body would break down really quickly. Our bodies are really resilient. And when we do a little something off of the norm every once in a while, it'll bounce back. But if this was something I did every single day, it would be like driving a car and running out of gas every day. You know, it would not work. I remember my dad, when I was growing up, was like, and he's a car guy, and he's like, you don't want to let your car get lower than a half a tank, quarter at the least, right? Because he said that the more you go down to almost empty, the more junk that gets into your tank, the more junk that your car is trying to move on. It's just not good for the car. It's the same thing for here. Same thing, right? I mean, brain, body, emotions, sleep, it's all interconnected. And if we don't take care of this body, it's not going to work, right? Like I said, every once in a while, if you're driving down the road and you run out of gas, your car is gonna be able to recover, but it wouldn't if you always ran out of gas. The other thing is I have a car and it uses gas. What would happen to my car if I put diesel fuel in it? It would not run at all, right? And yet, with our bodies, when it comes to feeding our bodies, It's like we put in diesel fuel instead of gas. We expect our bodies to run. We expect it to be this well-running machine, and yet we aren't feeding it what it needs. So that's what I want to talk to you about today, is about the brain-body connection and why it's important to eat basic, simple, but to eat, right? What does that look like? So I've been talking about the amino acids. I talked about the amino acids and how the amino acids feed those neurotransmitters to get them firing, right? And by taking the amino acids, what it does is it gets to those amazing happy feel-good chemicals, raises and boosts them so that it can reduce the symptoms that you may have been feeling: anxiety, depression, worry, OCD, perfectionism, stress, and it reduces the cravings, right? We've been talking about cravings and how they're connected. Why what you're craving can tell you what your body and your brain is missing. That's the same thing. Now we're going to talk about the fuel for our body. What fuels our body? Number one thing, protein. Protein fuels every single cell of your body. Protein is non-negotiable, guys. And in fact, the more I'm learning about protein, the more I'm learning how much we need. I've been talking to a friend of mine who is he's getting his nurse practitioner, and he's also in fitness. And we were talking the other day about why people struggle to lose weight. And one of them is insulin resistance. And I'm working on what that looks like when it comes to helping somebody to start to jumpstart their to let go of weight. Because what happens is, if you feed your body a lot of carbs and sugar, when you take and eat sugar and carbs, it causes your body, your blood sugar to spike. It goes up. And then it puts off insulin. And the insulin allows the cells in the body to open up and to be able to take in this sugar and utilize it for energy. But when we continue to eat carbs all the time, the insulin thinks, oh no, I've got to have more of these receptors in the body to take care of all the sugar. And so it creates these more cells. And then what happens is your body is not able to utilize and work the way it's supposed to. So it causes the sugar to turn into fat. So what would it look like if you were able to calm down that process and start eating what your brain and body needs and reduce the excess? I talked about this a little bit before I learned what I'm teaching you about today. I thought I had this sugar gene. I thought I love sugar. I love candy. And I always had candy. So people would say you get that sugar spike and drop. I don't know that I ever got that drop because I always had sugar. And I didn't realize that my brain was like using it for fuel. My brain was like, my neurotransmitters was like, oh my gosh, this is great. She's giving us all this sugar to eat our and to feed our brain, right? And so I didn't even need it didn't need to go to the fat, which is takes more for the body to burn fuel. It just had a constant supply. It was kind of like I was feeding this diesel fuel constantly, right, into my body. And the moment I started changing just a little bit, I changed and I started taking the amino acids and I started eating protein. I stopped craving sugar. It was amazing. It was amazing. The protein is going to help to keep your blood sugar level, right? Now, I'm not picky. I don't care if you eat it or if you drink it. I don't care if you drink protein. There's these things called Premier Protein that you can get that are these little boxes of protein. There's an argument that the protein is not the best protein. There's probably better. However, they're simple to take. They don't have to be refrigerated. And if you drink 3 of those a day, there's 90 grams of protein. Now, that could make a huge difference. You want to have about between 90 to 120 grams of protein. And you can get it through, you can get it through drinks. You can I like to make a smoothie every morning. And in my smoothie, I have a protein powder. I put avocado oil because brain is 60% fat. It needs the oil. They work together. The protein and the oil together. And I take my spinach and my kale and I buy fresh and I freeze it. And the reason I do this is because, first of all, it makes it so it doesn't go bad fast. And the other reason is you can't taste it. So if you're somebody, I like spinach and kale. It's not something that I think, oh, I want to have this every day, but I know that it's good for my body and I can put it into my smoothie and you can't taste it. And then I put some fiber in there and I put some berries, a little bit of juice. If you want to not raise your blood sugar so much, you might want to put water or almond milk or something like that. Mix it. That's my breakfast almost every morning. And the reason it's so awesome is because it's complete. It has every macro. It has a protein, it has veggies, and it has fats. So it's simple. So when you're in a hurry, all you have to do is mix it up. Meat is going to give you a complete protein. You can get it through some veggies. You can get it through some nuts. I found some information on how much nuts, how much protein there are into different beans and nuts. You're definitely going to get some protein from them. You're going to get more from meat. So you can decide. Protein is non-negotiable, guys. It is going to make the biggest difference. It's going to do this. It's going to satiate you so you eat less. Because it really is calories in, calories out. If you ate, 1,000 calories of Skittles candy, or 1,000 calories of meat, or 1,000 calories of carbs, it's still 1,000 calories, right? When it comes to our body. And so Not that I don't count calories because it's not very fun. It's not how I think. But it does matter, is what I'm saying, right? That the amount that you put into your body makes a difference. So let's go back now. We have protein 3 times at least a day. The number 2 thing is to start taking the amino acids, at least one, regularly. A multivitamin is so important because a lot of times when you've been struggling with mental issues, it's because your brain has been depleted of vitamin minerals. And there's other things that can cause us to become depleted of vitamin minerals in our body that I'll be talking about in the future. But just knowing that your brain needs some specific vitamin minerals, you need magnesium and vitamin C help to the absorption of the amino acids. Fish oil feeds the brain. Like I said, your brain is 60% fat. It needs fish oil. Many people are like, well, I don't like fish oil because you burp it up. Well, there are different fish oils that you can get. And I like the one I like is from what's called Nordic Naturals. It tastes like lemons. Well, it really doesn't taste like lemon, but it doesn't cause you to burp up that fishy taste. The other thing you can do is you can take your capsules, you can put them into the freezer. It's not that they're going to solidify because it's oil, but it'll make it so it breaks down slower. Don't wait to break down into the stomach. And so it makes it so that you don't burp it up. The other thing that's important is some B complex. B's become depleted. I recommend that you get what's called a methylated B because there are many people that are not able to utilize just regular B12s. And so if you look on the back of your container and see that it has what's called methylcobalamin, a B12. So look and see that your B cell says methylcobalamin instead of cyanocobalamin. Because usually for most people, you're able to use it better and it helps your body to methylate. The other thing is to see that it has folate in it instead of folic acid. Our brains need folate. And usually we get it from folic acid because it's easier. It's easier for them to put it in food. It's easier for them to put it into nutrition. But for some people, they're not able to convert folic acid to folate. And so instead, I would just tell you to, if you're not sure for yourself, just look at the back of your bottle and see if it says folate or folic acid. It might say folate in parentheses folic acid, and that's not what it is. You want the folate. There are a couple that I really like. One's called Pure Encapsulation. Another one are Smarty Pants. Those both have those, but get a good multivitamin. Protein. Okay. So the first thing I want you to focus on is protein. When you're sitting down to eat, now this is where my thought process changes, is different than a lot. Is I like things in moderation. I want whatever you're learning to be something that you can sustain. I'm not going to be the one that tells you can't have sugar, you can't have starches, because there's also an emotional attachment to them. It's like it's like a blankie, right? If I told you can't have sugar, then you're going to be like, don't take away my emotional blanket, right? And your brain's going to be like, oh, don't take away my fuel. Right? So when you start eating more protein, your cravings will go down substantially. I used to drink a lot of Diet Coke, and I don't anymore. Every once in a while, I may have one, but very seldom. And that's because now I feed my brain the amino acids, and it helps that I'm not fueling it with the caffeine because I'm getting it from the amino acids. And my brain, I've been on the amino acids for a while, and so now my brain doesn't need the caffeine like it did. But I did notice that one a big difference very quickly when I started taking the amino acids and eating protein. So this is the way I want you to think about this. I want you to think about, as you look at your plate, eat the protein first. By eating the protein first, it's going to satiate so you won't need to eat as much. It's going to feed the body what the body wants. The body wants protein. You might get to the point where you're even craving protein. It's kind of crazy. I'll go buy a hamburger and start eating, and I'll notice that after a few bites, my body doesn't want the bun anymore. It just wants the meat. So I usually will just take out the protein. I'll take out the bun and then just finish eating the meat. So just think of it that way. Protein first, some veggies, and then eat some carbs in moderation, small portions. That way you're still getting the fuel of some of the carbs and the vegetables, but it's not your main source of food. Make the protein the main source, and it's going to keep your blood sugar level. Now, what happens is, our blood sugar is like this. Right here in front of your brain is your precognitive, it's your precognitive, it's your it's early in the morning. Anyway, it's in charge of your cognitive thought process. I'm gonna make this choice, and this is your outcome, right? It's your reasoning, it's your judgment. For somebody who's an addict who struggles with sugars or cravings or drugs or alcohol or even behaviors, it gives you the tools to stay sober, stay clean from things, to stay away from the sugars and starches as much, to be able to reduce those behaviors, because your brain's thinking logically, right? Do I really need that or not? Because we understand the outcome. When you are either starving your brain by going long periods without food, or you're eating lots of sugars and starches or alcohol, it shuts this off. Your prefrontal cortex shuts off. You become irritable and irrational. Now, irritable is that hangry feeling that says, I want what I want now. I don't know if you've ever felt it. If you've ever been sitting at your desk or maybe on a computer, and you're working and you're not paying attention, and all of a sudden your brain says, stop. It causes you to become less focused, kind of that blurry feeling, unfocused, and it wants what it can get the fastest. For me, that's sugar. That's like, I am instantly out of my seat and I am rummaging through the closet for some sugar, right? Because the brain is going to take care of itself. And when this happens, we go into this, your brain's like, panic, okay? Because when you use lots of your brain cells, so if your job is something where you're taxing your brain a lot, it reduces your glutamine and your glucose. And you go into a hypoglycemic state. And that's when your brain's like, give me something now. And we turn to easily is sugar, right? So we take this sugar and the brain doesn't say, okay, take a little bite of it. So you just bring your blood sugar up to here. It says, I am in trouble. Takes your brain hostage. Or your brain takes you hostage and says, take care of me. And so we eat this sugar and it causes your blood sugar to spike. You get that spike, woo, right? And then we puts off too much insulin and it causes us to crash. And then we're down here and the brain is like, oh no, now I'm in trouble. I've got too much insulin in here and it puts off adrenaline, which causes you to crave. You spike, crave, spike, crave, spike, crave, spike, crave, right? Alcohol causes your body, your blood sugar to crash. And it makes it so that it's even harder to stay away from the alcohol because your brain is crashed. It's not thinking clearly. It puts your blood sugar at a very, very low level. And many people who drink alcohol also eat a lot of sugar because of that problem, right? They're not eating, they're starving. They drink this alcohol, it causes their blood sugar to crash. And then they get on that cycle. And then they spike, right? They drink the sugar, they drink the alcohol, and it crashes. Keeping the blood sugar level, right? Protein. Now people will say, well, why are you telling me to eat all these amino acids if it's protein that I need? Well, once your neurotransmitters have become depleted, there's no way you can eat enough food to raise that neurotransmitter enough to sustain it. So we're gonna feed the brain with the amino acids, right? Like a fire hydrant, and we're gonna support it with protein. Okay, and then what's gonna go on is as you're gonna do this for a while, and then you get to the point where your need for the amino acids are gonna come down because then the protein in your food can help to sustain those neurotransmitters. That's kind of how it works. Does that make sense? And then you don't need as much amino acids, and the protein can sustain you. So we're going to start with some protein. Yes, your body needs the vegetables. Yes, it does need fat. Fat is also important. Make sure it is a fat that your body can utilize. Make sure it is a avocado oil or a olive oil, butter, real butter. I'm going to give you permission to eat real butter, coconut oil. Stay away from the plant oils such as sunflower or corn oil. Your body, it does not know what to do with it at all. It's not good at all. Vegetable oil, no bueno. Nope. Okay. My favorite is avocado. I use it a lot. I use it in my cooking. I put it in my smoothies. It doesn't have a taste, and it's like one that can cook at a higher temperature. So that's my favorite. That's what I use. We want to keep your blood sugar level. Okay. Start taking the glutamine. If you're somebody who is intermittent fast, I would still suggest that when you're fasting, is that you take the glutamine because it makes it so your brain can think clearly, right? And it keeps you out of a state. It keeps your brain being fed. And so it helps you to think clearly. The last thing is water. You need water. 30 to 50 ounces per day or more. It's really based on what you weigh. Take what your weight is and break it in half. But if that seems like too much water, just drink water. Okay? Just add some water. Just drink water. You can put some glutamine in your water so you're sipping on it throughout the day. We want to get that brain and body connection working. It's imperative. and you will feel better. Your sugar cravings will go down. Your starch cravings will go down. You'll be able to think more clearly. You'll be able to move your body the way it's supposed to. It's amazing. So there you go. Brain, body, emotion. And the last thing on that, number 5, so it's feed the brain food. Then it's to start taking the amino acids, some good multivitamins, drink water. And the last one is to think and write down 1 to 3 things every day that you are grateful for. Because a lot of times we get stuck in this broken software program that I'll be talking about another day, that it makes it so that all we see is negativity, and we keep creating more and more negativity. When you can break that cycle of that software program and even just think of 1 to 3 things that you are grateful for. It could be basic things. I woke up this morning and I was in my bed. I'm grateful for my bed. I woke up this morning and I'm in a warm house and it was cold outside. I woke up this morning and the sun is coming up and it's beautiful, and that's free. All I have to do is look out the window. When I go to sleep or go in the evening, we have the most amazing sunsets in Utah. Oh my gosh, they are phenomenal, especially this time of year. Just find 3 things that you can be grateful for. And if you're struggling to find 3 things that you're grateful for, then get a hold of me and I will help you. That's what I do. Brain, body, and thoughts, right? Finally feel better. Finally feel good now. Whole body approach. Brain, body, and emotional approach. All right, guys. Make it a glorious day. Shelly Jo with Shelly Jo Hypno-Aminos, also known as Amino Acid Lady. Go to my website, hypnoaminos.com. Check it out. See how this can help you. Feel better now. Feel good now. Life matters. Your life matters. Keep smiling. Mwah.